Hey there. Uh, Going live here on a very slow news day, news weekend with winter apocalypse that, I mean, in my neck of the woods isn't really that bad. And we're here with Gabe, aka the Face Crusher of Trump Corruption Tracker. And
Indeed.
so, Gabe, nothing new going on?
I know. You have nothing to talk about. I mean, just another
Very
day in
little.
paradise, being
Very
the
little.
most powerful country in the world. No
But the
problems at
most
all.
important,
Everything's
the mo-
paradise.
most important news of the day, though, how's the East Coast handling ice apocalypse?
Well, East Coast is used to it, so it's not a big deal here. I hear awesome stories about my friend in Austin, Texas, right now, who,
No
they
shit.
have a couple inches of snow and they're freaking out.
I got a good friend, college roommate that lives in Austin, and same same thing.
Yeah, so you always heard about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
half inch of
crazy.
ice or something like that.
Oh, really?
hmm
He just said there's a
Well,
lot of snow.
the ice
Nobody
is
can
gonna come
drive.
like, yeah, the ice is gonna happen like tonight or something like that. Like all that stuff's gonna
Oh.
freeze over on them.
I mean, when you live in this area, you dig yourself out and do your thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't view it as that big a deal, but down there it
yeah,
is.
I mean,
I've just
you have
been
to be used to it. Yeah, definitely.
I've just been following like the chemical plants because I
Chemical
have,
plants.
yeah, most of them are clustered down there in the Austin, um, Houston, Dallas area. And
Oh,
in 2020, I'm I I'm in manufacturing and adhesives and plastics. And in 2021, all the chemical. Remember when they had that huge ice storm and the entire Texas grid collapsed basically around
yeah, because they have
Houston
their
and
own. They're on their
Dallas.
own grid. They're not on the national grid. Yep.
Yeah, but particularly around Houston and Dallas, well, all the chemical plants went down, and that stuff you can't just like pause. I mean, once it goes down, they have to clean all the tanks. They have to ditch everything that they
Oh,
were distilling. Yeah, that they were
I never
refining.
heard about that.
It's
Okay, makes sense.
oh, dude, it was nasty. I mean, it was brutal for a good year. I mean, just like a 3 day disruption.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and adhesives were on like supply restriction for almost a year. And then our plastics prices went up like 30-40%. It was
Wow.
brutal. So yeah, I've been looking to see if the chemical plants go down. So far, they haven't. So
So have they
hopefully they
done?
don't.
Did they do anything after that crazy situation they had where?
They supposedly winterized it, but the jury is out on that one.
I mean, the electrical cables still accumulate ice, get heavy, and collapse. So
Well,
there's that.
here's the really ironic thing. So my college roommate, he was he was like a CTO and head tech lead for ERCOT, which is the Texas power company.
Oh, oh wow. He was the CTO of that.
Yeah. So
Oh
when
man.
2021 happened, I messaged him like, "You dipshit! Like, what'd you do?"
Good direct line. That's
He
awesome.
isn't anymore. Like, he isn't anymore.
What do
But
you
I'm
say
like,
to
what?
that?
You
What do you
know,
say to that?
it's like, what did you screw up in 2010? Like,
He's just
what'd you
laughing,
do?
isn't he? He
Like,
doesn't
what'd
even
you do?
care.
He
He doesn't
didn't.
even care. He's like,
He
whatever,
didn't
dude.
care at all. He was just like, I didn't do anything.
I jumped in my PJ and headed down south. What are you talking about? Deal any of this crap.
So before we get into Greg Bovino and ice and how crazy is it all
Nice.
this shit
Pun
finally goes
intended.
down with ice and there's an ice
Yeah.
storm across most of the country that has shut everything down.
What a
um,
coincidence.
Tell me, Face Crusher, how'd that go for the viewers out there or who will watch this later on? I know there's some of you out there. Gabe plays Face Crusher in a short horror film series.
Yes, I crush people's faces with random stuff. Yep.
Exciting.
And yes, I only killed like 8 people in the first two. This one, it's crazy. It's like 20 some odd kills.
The puppy.
Oh yeah, and dogs. He eats dogs too.
That
And
one's
it
gonna
comes,
that one's
yeah.
gonna be brutal. That is
I
gonna
mean,
that's gonna create an issue.
we had to make him a next level villain, and we are like, what do you really do to take up a notch? You go after dogs. I mean, everybody loves dogs. That's like that makes a person just beyond evil
And see, I appreciate Face Crusher as like it's
as a
good. It
person.
is good.
Yeah.
I'm more of a psychological horror kind of guy, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
this
I
next one
laugh.
takes, all the stops. I'm sure we'll be showing it hopefully on the pod at some point.
So I will say this: the one lady wearing a witch's hat, that was my contribution to the whole thing.
Oh, in the tour group?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Do you know about the witch hats? The witch hats in general around here?
I'm familiar. Yeah, I mean, my sister's gone there. I'm familiar with the
Okay.
Salem area. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for everybody
And of
out
course,
there,
student of
I live in
history. I mean,
Salem,
who hasn't?
Mass.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? The Salem witch trials. I mean, of course, yeah, I've read all about that. And
Yeah. But see, the thing is, pretty much you can identify a tourist in this town by the modern witch hat. And
oh,
so they sell these like kind of miniature witch hats that everybody buys when they come here,
oh, okay.
and they wear them around. So it's like a witch hat thing. It's like a identifier that we use. Um, yeah. So like we had a bunch of tours of the witch hats. It was kind of like a play to that. It's a little bit of an inside joke around here, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty funny.
nice.
So it was definitely satisfying to kill the tourists with the witch hats, especially being a local and having to deal with it constantly. So I don't know if you've ever seen Salem during October, but it's next level.
I never have actually, but I've
Oh
wanted to do something like that with
yeah, I live right
during
downtown.
Halloween.
It's
Halloween, obviously, but that seems such a touristy thing to do.
I mean, to be honest, the only day to come here is probably Halloween because that's when they have all the different things going on. And there's a lot of stuff going on before that. I mean, it pretty much starts in like earlier and earlier every year. I mean, we have people
Oh
here
yeah,
in like, man, like July. Will be people, walking around here. Um,
July.
yeah, it just keeps going, getting earlier and earlier. But I mean, haunted happening starts in October, and it's pretty much all October. And there's all
Haunted
sorts of things going
happenings.
on.
That is
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
I love that. That is
Uh,
great.
I've been here for 10 years, and in the beginning, it's like fun because you get to go. It's the town's exciting. It's kind of vibrating with all these different people from all over the place, and you get to meet a lot of different tourists, and it's always fun. After a while, it's a little intense. I mean, I live downtown, and I just don't even drive. I don't even bother trying. It's like not even worth it. You just
Yeah.
kind of like you're just like, okay, this is how it is, and I work from home, so it's easy for me. But yeah, I mean, you just can't go anywhere.
That
You
sucks.
can't.
I don't live in a tourist. Well, I guess it's kind of a tourist area for the Amish,
Oh, okay.
which is just bizarre to me because the Amish are a cult. They're a cult. I'm just gonna say it. They're a cult.
Are they
The Amish.
recruiting? I might actually look into this. I mean, it might not be a bad idea. I mean, if you think about it, if the end of the world happens, let's just say, for instance, we get attacked, and I don't know, who knows what happens here. But if it becomes like super fascist, I mean, they're probably not going to go after the Amish. I mean, Trump's probably not going to go after them. I mean, ISIS is going to show up and deport them. You know what I mean?
No, but they're non-violent.
Well, I mean, you can make it. Yeah, I mean, they're getting rid of a lot of nonviolent people. That is going to make a difference.
I mean, no, ICE is not going to come after the Amish. And let's face it. Well, I guess. So there were some reports of ICE in a few towns around where I live, but nothing
Oh,
on the
really?
scale. Yeah,
There's been
and
rumors of them being here too, but
in Indianapolis.
okay, I
Well,
haven't
it's
seen
like,
any.
yeah,
I'm also like rarely go to Home Depot, and I'm not a market basket shopper, so not to seem.
there's because of the factory, because of the factories and stuff. There's a fairly
Oh, okay.
substantial Hispanic population around here.
Yeah, actually, let me ask you about that. So I had this discussion, another great bar discussion.
The best kind.
uh, oh yeah, and it went into a couple different areas, but one of them was I asked this person who closet Trump supporter, um, where do you think the most immigrants are? He was really adamant about the immigrants being in this country. And I said, well, where are the most highest concentration? And he's like, well, probably like Texas. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're really in Texas at the moment. Are they? I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about that.
They are like ICE being in Texas. They are. I mean,
They are?
yeah, they are. It's just the
Are
state
they
is
raiding Home
cooperating.
Depots there too? And oh, okay.
Yeah,
They're just not making
yeah.
noise
I mean, the
about it.
state. Yeah, because they Trump actually kind of stopped them or tamped them down a little bit because they were
Yeah.
deporting all the farm labor.
Yeah.
Oh
No
wait, we
shit.
need food.
I mean, yeah, I have a pretty strong stance on that whole thing. I don't know if we got into it before or not, but it just drives me bananas. Like, and actually, this kind of leads into what the discussion that I had. It was he was adamant that he said that these are illegal, these were criminals, and he was talking specifically about a situation you might have heard about. I think it made national news about ICE chasing down somebody at a residence, and the individual took off. He fled the scene, and he
Mhm.
left a 5-year-old child behind. And so they snagged the 5-year-old child.
I heard about this.
Um, and so his thing was, well, what are you going to do? Just leave the kid in the place by itself, like on its own? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, the father's a criminal. And I'm like, well, what do you mean he's a criminal? Well, do you have like charge of a felony or something? He's like, no, I don't think so. But he's here illegally, so he's a criminal. And I quickly corrected him and said, well, it's actually not a felony to be here. I know they're called illegal immigrants, but
Yeah,
technically you can't really arrest them for it. You can deport them. But it's like being tossed in the trunk tank. Like you're not charged with anything. It's not even a misdemeanor. And that like blew his mind.
it's a
What do you
civil
mean?
infraction. I think it's a misdemeanor. It's a civil infraction. It's a
Oh, is it a misdemeanor? I wasn't sure if you
and,
even got that
and
far.
possibly I think I've heard it. I've heard several things. It's like a fine, and I've also heard it could be up to 4 months in jail. 4 months jail time.
Oh, so then it is a criminal act then. It can be
Yeah,
prosecuted.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
anything, even I mean, civil infractions can be prosecuted. Like if you get a speeding infraction or something like that, you get a court date.
But are you considered a criminal at that point? I mean, these people aren't even being processed. I mean,
No, there's been a complete suspension of their Fourth Amendment rights
yeah. I mean, they're being
and due
processed, but
process.
they're not giving due process. Yeah.
Correct,
I mean, it's very
which is
complicated
problematic.
nowadays. Yeah.
And
Yeah. What's
that's
the? I mean, there's like I know we don't care about international laws anymore, but there's not like a freedom of movement act that we're supposed to abide by.
um, no, because we don't sign up to many international criminal kind of things. Freedom of movement. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
Let's look that up. Actually, But
Yeah,
it's
this conversation went from this individual being criminal just because he's here illegally to how Europe's a mess right now, and um, ICE is really just trying to defend the U.S. and yeah, got pretty heated at one point to the point where my other friend got scared and walked off. He went home. I always make sure when I have these conversations, I don't stand up. I just make sure I sit down because I'm like a not like a small person. I don't want to intimidate the other person, so they stop talking. I want them to keep going. So
you could for
I
sure be
usually
intimidating.
I usually
Definitely.
kind of like I crouch down a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. He's like leering over me as I'm sitting in this chair.
But yeah, no. So it's saying international treaty. There is like a freedom of movement, international covenant, but we are not signatories to it. Doesn't look like
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, I
European
guess, right?
Union mainly.
Okay, that makes more sense. It's. I feel like it's not even worth talking about at this point, unless you were an adamant ICE supporter or a supporter of what the Trump administration is doing at this point. I mean, it's
Not at
like it's
all.
so obvious what
Not
it
at all.
is.
And
It's
and
just
I
like,
think it's kind of one of those things that how to put it. It's how did we get here? I was thinking about that over the weekend. Like how the fuck did we get here? You're you're very liberal, and I think we've spoken about this. You're more independent, but you are definitely
I like the term progressive. I
progressive.
like the idea of the country moving forward, not backwards. So I'm all for moving to evolve with the times and take advantage of
Hmm.
everything that entails. So liberal doesn't really apply to me in a lot of ways. I believe personally in personal freedoms, freedom to be who you want to be, as long as it's not affecting somebody else. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it comes down to it. And I believe in capitalism big time.
See, and ultimately, I appreciate we don't agree on everything. I think we've established that like we don't agree on everything, but I've found in a lot of this that when you can get people to actually answer questions,
Mm,
um, and that's somewhat the most difficult thing because people don't like to answer questions. They just kind of want to spout
yeah,
whatever talking points they've seen on TikTok or Instagram or whatever,
there's a
and
lot
then
of
kind of
that.
move
Yeah.
on. But I believe in the Socratic method, I guess. It's like just asking questions. I hate to say this, like I'm just asking questions, but ultimately it's kind of like, so, one thing I've asked always is, so what do you want to see done? What do you think should be done?
About immigration in general, or
Yeah,
what particular topic?
sure. Let's
Immigration in
pick
general.
immigration in general. I mean, that's what we're talking about. So we can both agree that ICE and what they're doing is horrifically fucking bad. Like
Yeah,
it is essentially a paramilitarized force that has torn up the Constitution. They're not following the Constitution whatsoever. But immigration is obviously a huge issue. I still don't know why it became a huge issue. Um, this has been something that I've been aware of politically for since the mid 80s. I mean, since I was a kid. I guess it's just the area I live in with a high level of factories and um, production, and but it's
are
something
they
I've always
are
been
they in
nominally
factories
aware of.
there?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. All
There's a
right,
lot.
so that's one thing that I have to say. I'll be honest. I do feel like each individual needs to vote. Number one, and you should vote for your own interests and the things that affect you. Now, after saying that, personally, I am not affected at all from immigration whatsoever. If I really want to get granular, I guess I'm slightly affected by the H-1B visas a little bit, I think, maybe from a competition standpoint, because I work in tech. I
Yeah,
mean, not really, but I guess I had to deal with it, which is annoying. But more like people from India than anything else. Um, Outside of that, it doesn't affect me whatsoever, and it doesn't affect even through my friends or family. I asked them this question, like, have you ever had an encounter or a situation in your life where it's affected you? And they all say no because they live, in the Northeast. Like, just not like a big deal around here.
that's kind of what I'm trying to figure. Like, how did this become an issue? Like, just how?
Well, yeah, I
Do you
mean,
know? I mean,
do
I
you want to say
really
the
can't
obvious
figure it
stuff
out.
out loud here?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
I
it
honestly
seems
don't
like
know.
what you earlier said is just like it's a Trump is creating his own army, 160 or is it 170 billion now? I think I saw the latest number. Um, that he's pumped into this organization that he can use, within the country to terrorize blue states. That's definitely what it seems like to me. Um, I have not seen a good argument in the other direction. And why they're in Minnesota? Like, is that a big immigrant population?
My cousin's up there. It's no, it's like any other big city, right? There's obviously a sizable immigrant population. Um, I think the Somali angle kind of plays into it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, those were those immigrants or those people that actually were brought here to help populate popularize a lot of these towns and cities that were needed an influx of people. Now, honestly, like I mean, the thing that drives me bananas about this is if they really want to stop it for real, they would go after the businesses.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's because that's how it used to be. Actually, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
Because
where,
that is a criminal act by hiring them. You're getting around all sorts of regulations, all sorts of hiring and employee regulations. And that's exactly what these people are doing. And nobody's talking about it.
correct? Yeah, I don't disagree. If you wanted to stop it, you would obviously go after the businesses. But I just went like it is fascinating to me to kind of dissect how um, this issue kind of germinated because I feel like it came from several angles. You know, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but well, okay,
Oh,
let's.
here we go.
I am a little bit.
Hey, they're
Um,
fun. Let's go. Bring it up. Let's go.
no, I does all this not feel coordinated to you?
No, absolutely. Do you think this is part of 2025? Project 2025?
I don't even think. No, I think it goes further back
I
than
don't
that.
remember it being. Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Well, I've as a Republican um, and on the moderate conservative side, you know, it was always this big thing in that for the most part, if and I am going to say this, if Republicans could just ditch the racism, the inherent racism in the party, that Hispanic immigrants are a natural ally of the Republican Party.
Oh, absolutely. I
They're
mean,
highly
they are way
conservative. They're
more
highly conservative.
conservative.
Yes, highly
Yeah.
conservative, highly religious, natural allies to the Republican Party. And it was only, and that's what I think George W. Bush tried to do, is he tried to pull the Republican Party back from that and kind of be more welcoming to the immigrant community. And he's the only president in my lifetime that I can recall actually made immigration an issue and tried to fix it. And it was the Republican Party that totally abandoned it. But the H-1B, I do think the H-1B visa shit is absolute has absolutely always been an issue. And you want to look at it, here's where I go. You want to look at immigrants taking jobs. Let's look at who runs the tech companies now. It's people that were essentially brought over on H-1B visas or facilitated that.
Yeah,
That
there's that one guy that's got a huge public voice. What's his name again? He was brought over in one of those. Starts with an
um,
E. E something. Elon something.
Oh, Elon Musk,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Melania,
yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Melania.
wasn't he brought over on one of those visas?
No, he was brought over. He was flat out illegal. Actually,
Was he really?
he was on a student visa and just ditched his student visa. Yeah,
Wow, imagine that.
shocker. It's one of
Yeah,
those do as I say, not as I do things.
yeah, you never see that from Republican Party.
Hey, man.
Yeah, so to get back to me, just my personal take on it, they have to go to the businesses. I mean, like for instance, their manufacturing plants. Like, how much money are those guys making off of these immigrants? I mean, my God, Americans don't want to work. They don't want to work. They don't want to. They don't want to work in the fields. They don't want to do manufacturing this stuff. And like, yeah, they do. You just don't want to do it for your fucking pennies that you're where they pay them. And like they don't want. They want to actually have the actual regulatory. They want to be able to unionize. They want to be able to do things that allow them to get an actual living wage off of this. They don't want to work for the under uh, minimum wage. I mean, it's like these people just bankroll. They just bankroll. I mean, the reason why these trucks are pulling up to Home Depot and everybody's jumping in the back of it, these laborers, is because they pay them nothing and they pay
Well,
them
I feel
cash and they don't have to pay workman's comp and they get hurt on the job site. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's why. I mean,
to be fair, I think that's primarily a. I will say this. I think that's primarily a construction industry thing.
doesn't
I
happen
don't.
to
I don't know.
manufacturing
I don't
too.
know that it's on the manufacturing lines much anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I go into those
I don't
plants.
know either, but
I go into those plants. I don't think they could get it really. I mean, they might be able to get away with it in a small scale, but not in a massive scale to where they're banking millions upon millions of dollars in labor costs.
I mean, the poor farmer of the U.S. It makes so much money. Like these families,
It's a
they just
myth. It's a myth. It's a myth.
yeah, it's a total myth.
There's no such thing as a small family farm anymore. Those don't exist. Farm family. They do not exist anymore. Maybe a dairy farm, possibly, but if you're talking actual like acres under plant, small family farms don't exist anymore. It's too expensive.
But
They
all
will
right,
not
so
go for
even
a
the
lot.
larger ones, I mean, they're making bank on the backs of immigrants that they're paying nothing. That they set up these little shacks in the live in, and then they have like a negative balance because they get fed and then they take that out of their wages. I mean, it's like this whole thing is happening in Florida.
Well, here's a
They're
dirty
literal
secret on.
slaves, basically.
So here's a dirty secret on some of those. On like let's take the soybean bailout, right? That they just
Oh
did.
yeah, that's a good one. Yep. So
So
the first one or the second one?
this most recent one.
Okay.
Here's where it gets insane and why it's voting against their own self interest to a large extent because almost universally these types of bailouts are tied to acres under plant. All right. So take Besant, for instance. He went on air and said, I'm a soybean farmer. I've got 20,000 acres. Okay. He just made millions of dollars on that bailout because it's tied to acres. It's tied to your acreage. It's not tied to how many soybeans you produce or how much you're impacted by the tariffs. The bailout is purely based on your acreage. So a small family farm, those don't necessarily exist, but even a small family farm might have 100 to 200 acres under plant. They're going to get a minuscule amount of that bailout versus a cent. Because even if he's sharecropping, it's tied to land ownership. So I'm sure Besant, who has 20,000, says, I'm a soybean farmer, I have 20,000 acres. He's not farming that. All right. He sharecrops it out to or leases it out to farmers who actually farm that land. So
Oh, I see.
those guys have all the expense. They get none of the bailout because it's tied to ownership of the land. So Besant gets all the bailout. The people that are actually farming it and have the expense on it that just took it in the chin don't get anything.
I mean,
So,
okay, I did see a couple things. I read an article on some this person that talking about why farmers voted for Trump, and it really came down to, in a way, they are voting against their own interests, but at the same time, because Trump bailed them out the first time, they're kind of expecting money to pour their way, and they did this time around too. And it took them a long time to get it. Um, did they actually end up getting it? I didn't actually hear that or not, but
Uh, he said he was going to take money from the tariffs and give it to
oh,
him.
so it
I
never
don't know if
happened then.
that's been, I don't.
So it never
You can.
happened. Yeah.
Where's actually? That's a good question because I don't know the. Where is the money for the tariffs? Where is
Yeah,
it?
that's a whole other thing. Nobody knows.
Hey, you're
And,
the
and
corruption tracker. Where is it?
the money, so that amount of money, what actually was brought in, they estimated somewhere around 200 to 300 billion, um, which is a joke compared to what it costs the American people and the actual companies in the country. And exactly where is that cash? Nobody knows where it
Well,
is.
the Supreme Court just kicked it down the kicked it down the road. They're never going to rule on that fucking thing. They'll wait
Yeah,
it out.
I mean, I'm sure you heard about. You mentioned this to me without me even prompting you. I heard it from two other sources. I didn't think it was real, about Trump opening a bank account in Qatar, sorry, and depositing the gas money from the confiscated oil tankers.
Yep. That's his.
So
That's
maybe
his. Got to flee
can't
the
put it past
country.
them for. Yeah, oh, yeah. That's a great theory.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced he was prepared to. I honestly, January 6th and what happened there. I was almost for sure that he, and I still think the planning was there. The worst case scenario I could think of with all that was that he was going to flee to Dubai or Qatar, a non-extradition country, and then someone like Putin or Kim Jong Un or some other nation would recognize him as the rightful president of the United States, give him diplomatic kind of pressure, and then we'd have basically a president in exile. That was seriously going through my head as like the worst case. And I think he was prepared to do that. And then the Republicans totally folded like lawn chairs.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
then he realized, like, okay, I don't have to leave. Like, these idiots are just going to stay in lockstep.
I mean, I'm sure there's so many rumors about what he's going to do for the midterms, and I don't think he's going anywhere, to be honest.
The midterms worry me. Um, I
And
think.
back to your earlier point, like why ICE? I mean,
Oh, I know
you
why
know,
ICE. I'm just. I'm. But the whole idea that illegal immigration is some type of big issue that we have to solve just doesn't. Based on my life, just my entire life, in hearing about it and watching movies like Cheech and Chong. Remember, like another shrimp on the Barbie or something like that, or Born in East LA. Like it was almost a joke. I mean, it was just kind of like, yeah, it happens, but then we just come back over or something like that. And I just until recently, and I'm talking like the Trump years, I just don't really recall it ever being an issue.
yeah,
It was not like I'm going to vote for this guy because he's going to fix this big problem issue. It was never that, ever, until recently. And I'm just kind of, to me, it seems coordinated because I've talked to enough people and heard enough people talk about it or why it's an issue to them. And they all come at it from different angles. And that's why it just seems coordinated. It almost like it's a manufactured issue, or it was something that was planted, because you have fairly reasonable people that are just convinced it's cartels, and that's why we have to that's why we have to solve this, because it's the cartels that are coming in, it's drugs, it's this. So we have to close the border and kick everyone out because that's the only way we're going to solve the drug crisis. or the cartel violence. And then you have the other thread, which is they're stealing our jobs, right? And then you
Oh
have
yeah,
yet a third thread, which is they're sucking up all our social services.
yeah. They're getting $1,000 in a payphone and they cross the border.
Right, and then you have just the straight up racism, which I mean that one was always there. You can always
White
count on
replacement theory.
you can
Oh, and then
always
it was
count
the
on
other
the,
thing
yeah,
that
the great
Democrats
replacement
are
theory.
are flying them in so we have voters. So they can vote Democratic. That
And
was a
I
good one too.
and I don't often talk to people on the great replacement theory stuff because I've studied enough history. This has always been a thing. It's always
Always.
been this way. You're,
It's like
you're, you're
literally a definition of humanity.
yeah. You've talked about this. Like your family's Catholic, right? Irish.
Part of my family is very Christian. Um, my immediate family doesn't practice. They probably would identify being Christian. I mean, the other ones, are they Christian evangelicals? Maybe. They're way more about the wedge issues than they are
Hmm.
anything else. Abortion being one of them.
But like
I'm not sure about
your
immigration.
family background. I mean, I mean, how did you come to the United States? Like, how'd your family come to the United States?
My opa and oma came from Germany and Switzerland. Actually,
Okay,
Austria and Switzerland. So, and Lithuania is the other one. But I don't go that far back. But I mean, that's like three generations, I'd say.
sure. But it used to be the great replacement theory of the time.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you go all the
Irish.
way
My
back to around
father's
the Civil
Irish
War.
too.
Irish need not apply. No Catholics, Papists, heresy. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, what happened in right after the Civil War, especially when the Chinese were showing up in San Fran, for instance, and the
yes.
Irish couldn't get a job, and they
Hmm.
would just hire the Chinese labor for nothing, and they were fleeing. What were they fleeing at the time? Uh, what's his name, Mao, and just they were either starving in China or come here for a chance. So they came
Yep.
here and basically worked for whatever they could just to get some food,
Yeah,
and that
and
was a whole
and
other thing.
the Irish. I mean, it was the same thing, and at that time, it was great replacement too. They're going to, all these Irish Catholics are going to change the fabric of the nation, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, the
They
thing
did the
is
same.
that
It was the
across the
same thing with
world,
Germans. It was the same thing about Germans. You know,
I mean, the conversation got into this individual too. Like, the thing is that he mentioned Europe, and I mean, I don't know how much you get into the demographics, but a lot of these countries are dying out. They're not having enough children, and a lot of these countries are like dying for immigration, like literally. Japan, Korea, Germany. Like Germany might not be a country in the next 8 years. Like they aren't having enough children to uh to
it's
have
yeah,
people
they're
out working
their
in order
birth
to
rates.
support their, yeah, they're getting too old.
Correct. The birth rates
And
are below replacement level.
so what they're doing is it actually happened in Canada too. They bring in all these immigrants and they are having trouble integrating because they bring in 9 or 10,000, which has happened in Germany, and they're not integrated. They don't speak the language, and it caused the conservative party to basically to take over because of that. Um, but the thing is, they need it. I mean, the countries aren't going to survive without it.
They need something. I mean, it's it's an issue, but is it? I mean, we're not an agricultural society anymore. We don't need 12 kids to work the field. We have our
Oh, the idea is you don't have enough workers to supply taxes that will support the older generations. Is what it boils down to.
there you go.
So,
But I mean, is that a fixable problem or not? I mean, I would
well,
say
that's one of
it
the ways
is.
of doing it is immigration, or you start changing things to make and incentivize people having kids. And you're seeing a lot of people aren't having kids, and people are blaming all sorts of reasons for it. So
But I just think the great replacement theory is just complete. It's recycled historical trash.
yeah, and I mean, it's interesting because that's a progressive person. I mean, the idea of Hispanic culture as it is right now taking over the country is kind of terrifying in a way, just because of where they lean. I mean, they are extremely religious. The idea of church and state holding, separation of church and state holding up is probably not going to happen if they took power as it is now. I like to think that they would evolve into kind of a mix of what we are today and their very conservative leanings, which you could say that with most of the Hispanic politicians that actually do make it through. But I mean, there is some truth to that, though. Um, but it's funny how it leans conservative way more than progressive, and the conservatives are terrified over it. And that I think does come down to racism on their end, to your earlier point.
Yeah, I think if the Republican Party got rid of the inherent racism in the party, um, Hispanic immigrants are a natural ally of the Republican Party on
Yeah,
90% of issues.
I mean, probably 100% of issues. What would they
Honestly,
possibly? Yeah,
African Americans are as well. I mean, truly, and I understand your progress, but the on the social issues, the majority of the country and minorities skew towards Republican values
yeah,
than
absolutely. That's why Trump like won the
white
mail
liberal than
majority
white
vote.
progressive values.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially towards women.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Now,
So
second, I don't know if that's necessarily true in the second or third generation, but
yeah, that's my hope is that they're evolving to get past some of those kind of ancient misogynist views. But I mean, that's pretty much why the Democrats lost the last elections. Kamala was just everything they would never vote for. Like,
well, that's the thing. Donald Trump has never won an election against a man. He hasn't.
I mean, I just heard this from somebody else. Was that you? I don't think it was you. Yeah, that's interesting. Somebody else said the same thing to me the other day. Like he's 0 for 2, I guess. Well, he's 0 for 1 against a man, I guess you'd say.
And Biden was Biden. I'm disappointed in his presidency for sure. I feel like
Yeah, why are you disappointed? Because of the tail end of it or the beginning of it? Like, what is it about his presidency you don't like?
the,
'Cause, I mean,
to-
if you
the,
look at the numbers, like they're shockingly good.
the totality of it.
In what
Don't get me
way?
wrong. I think the CHIPS Act, a lot of the legislation passed at the beginning of his presidency, I absolutely agree with it. I think
Yeah.
they hit the exact wrong note on inflation. They didn't count on how much that was going to affect people. And going out there repeatedly and calling it transitory and it's temporary was definitely a mistake.
Well,
It
I mean,
was
he brought inflation down, though.
he did eventually. I mean, but the messaging, but it's like the meme was already baked in.
Well, I mean, he inherited absurd inflation and then eventually had it in going the other direction. The consumer price index was actually positive when he left office.
Let's put it this way: he could have, recognizing that it was supply side inflation and not demand side, which is usual. It, the inflation was not caused by the money supply. I don't care how you spin it or how much
Oh,
Republicans like to talk about it.
but Trump's the one that printed the money. I mean, it wasn't
Right,
wasn't Biden.
right. But the inflation was not the bulk of the inflation was not caused by the fact that people got a shit ton of money from COVID bailouts, and it was not a supply. It was not a money supply inflation. It's not like because we turned on the money printer that we had inflation. That was not the case. I lived it. I sent out the price increases. It was purely demand, and I mean it was corporations increasing their profit margin. I mean, I
Oh,
had some of the
absolutely.
best, yeah, I had some of the best years profit wise in my life during COVID.
Everybody
And
did. These CEOs were reporting absurd margins
right, I
across the
sent out the
board.
price increases. Our cost did not go up 30, 40%, but I for damn sure sent out price increases for 30, 40%.
I mean, that's the thing about capitalism. That it works until you have an unfair market where everybody just raises the prices together. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like
But I
perception is
mean,
things are going to get more expensive. Okay, well, let's just jack everything up. Well, we don't have to. We'll do it anyways. It's like the opportunity was there, so they took it.
but the biggest that probably just the idea that they didn't take steps to and I get it, they didn't because there would have been like, oh, communism and oh, socialism, oh,
Well, yeah,
interfering with
price
the market.
fixing. Like,
But
how would they would possibly have done? I mean, to do that outside of price fixing, it's like there was some talk about penalizing corporate corporations. Nothing really came of it though. I don't even know what mechanism you put in place to even do that. But
it's it would have to be a corporate tax. I mean, of some kind,
yeah, like lowering the corporate tax, 15%.
something like that. I mean, yeah,
I
price
mean,
control.
that's what Trump did.
But
Raising it back
realistically,
up
I
again.
mean, had he just threatened price controls, people would have melted down. But I think companies would have kind of like, okay, we don't really want this to happen. And he could have done it during the COVID emergency powers. He could have set price controls, and that would have tamped down most of the inflation because I think companies would have gotten genuinely scared and gone to the White House, kind of like they do with Trump, right? Don't tariff us, don't tariff us. It would have been the same thing, just in reverse. They'd have gone to the White House and said, "Hey, look, don't put price controls in. Look, we'll tone it down. Just give us 5%. Can you give us 5%? 10?"
Well, I mean, the idea is like, I mean, it's supposed to be an open market where people would find opportunities elsewhere. It just didn't happen. Everybody raised their prices at the same time. It was crazy.
Well, that gets to the point you and I have discussed previously is that there's a lack of competition. If
Yeah,
there
like
were
consolidation
competition in the
ownership.
marketplace, if there were competition in the marketplace in any foreseeable sector, then inflation never would have been a problem because as people raise their prices to do profit taking, then somebody in that competitive market would have said, no, we're not going to raise our prices, we're going to leave it lower, and then they'd get the bulk of the business. That is the elasticity of price. I mean, it's basic economics. So when it's a cartel or a trust, then you have no, like, if there's only two or three providers in the market and they all raise prices, but they're not colluding whatsoever, but they all raise prices, then you don't have a free market.
Yeah, yeah, that's our problem today. It's when did that actually happen, and what presidency? Like, what time period did that actually happen? This crazy gobbling up of all these other companies where you now only have like what is like four holding companies for all the food in the country, and it's just like
Clinton,
it's absurd. Is that the Clinton? Yeah.
Clinton, George W. Obama criticism on that is entirely like there's a lot that goes into that, and
I've heard mixed things about his presidency. He did a lot for healthcare. Definitely stuck his toe in the water where so many other people failed. But yeah, I heard his second half of his presidency, he basically did nothing.
I mean, granted, he couldn't because there was a Republican Congress that had latched on to the strategy of to not do anything.
Yeah, who was that
Like
guy
that
who was
was
the head of
the
the
strategy.
House that was infamous for a while?
Oh,
Denied everybody, denied
the
everything he
crier,
tried to do.
the crier
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. Very tan.
from Florida, aren't they
Was he
all?
from Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget the name.
Yeah, it's killing me right now. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I mean, as far as communism goes, I mean, it's like Trump just bought, what has he bought? 10% of Intel? I mean, how is that not communism?
More than that, there's multiple companies that he's taken stake in. that he's had the government take stake in. It's not just like him alone. But then the question is, why is he doing that? Because I think at this point he thinks the treasury is his personal treasury.
Yeah, I mean Elon.
It's gross. It is so gross.
I mean the Trump tracker that we have now, it just keeps growing and growing.
And that's just 1 year.
Not even, yeah, 1 year actually. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as far as the midterms go, I've heard some interesting takes on what Waltz could potentially do. He's already kind of activated the National Guard, and now
Well,
he's
okay,
thinking
so
about
getting
bringing
back
them
to kind of the
into.
live stream, yeah. So
Yeah.
Bovino is out. He's been demoted. He's headed back to El Centro, California. Holman is going to be taking over there. Not sure where we go from here. I mean, they flat out executed a dude in the street.
Yeah, so there's an interesting take about the National Guard coming in. They can basically watch over ICE and basically record what's happening, keep an eye on it, help the police in Minnesota, and they can actually arrest ICE for doing things that are illegal, which I thought was very interesting if that happens.
So I was talking about this last night. I kind of wish he had not activated the Minnesota National Guard
Really?
because I don't see. I think right now it's benign, and I think we'll see what Holman does, but I think this is another taco moment. I think Trump has chickened out. I think this was just a
Oh, I don't think
virtue.
so at all. I think he's going to triple down on this.
I,
I mean, if his
I don't.
goal is to eventually toss in the Insurrection Act and to literally
Yes,
close the elections, I mean, it's leading up to that for sure.
I don't think he can.
You can't do it without
Elections,
congressional.
elections. I'd have to look at the Insurrection Act, but I don't think martial law or Insurrection Act can stop an election.
I know it can't stop in a war, not in this country.
Nope.
It does. It does in others. But he could like literally just take over the voting booths.
Now, actually, that's a great segue into that's why I thought Biden's presidency was ultimately a disappointment. He knew what guardrails had no teeth to them, and for 4 years he didn't fix anything. He didn't repair
Yeah,
any
good point. Because
guardrails.
Trump did kind of poke some holes in things, and nobody did anything
Yes.
to do anything about it, really.
Yeah, Biden's administration did not do anything to put teeth into the guardrails that still existed.
Yeah.
And for that, I think he will come down, depending on where this country goes in the next 3 years, his presidency will be viewed as a failed one. Because he had one job. He was voted in to do one thing, and that was repair the shit that had been broken. And he didn't.
I mean, he did a lot of that, though. You have to give him some credit.
I think on the fundamental, I mean, when you look at his rhetoric of fight for the soul of the nation and you know America's back, and then what was his big line on that? America's back, and then all our European allies say, yeah, but for how long? So he clearly recognized that problem, but did nothing structurally to fix it.
I wonder what the real truth is about him running for office again.
I don't think we'll ever really know. It's kind of like Trump's health issues. We're never really going to know.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
That
it's clear he's had a stroke.
Trump?
But fundamentally, and you may highly disagree with me on this, I don't think people should be focusing on Trump.
Hmm.
I think it's a strategic mistake.
Because
He's Teflon. He's a lame duck president, and he takes all the heat and all the effort is attacking Trump. But Democrats really, there's a couple things I think are interesting. Because I wonder if they would work. So one, I think Democrats strategically are just failing miserably, mainly because they focus all their attacks on Trump because he's the most vocal, he's the target. But
well, he's also the leader too. He's the president.
but it's a cult of personality. In a cult of personality, you don't attack the leader. He's a figurehead. I mean, Trump is. I do believe he is a figurehead.
Yeah, yeah, of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was put into place by people to implement their own nefarious designs, and they let him play in a corner while they just tell him like, I we really don't know what he's being told. So when he goes out there and he spouts things like I have the best poll numbers ever, we don't know what polls he's looking at. Nobody ever shows it. He never shows us what polls he's looking at. I actually kind of believe they're showing him fake poll numbers.
I mean, you can say that about Greenland too. I mean, I love watching people try to tie themselves in knots explaining why Greenland's a good idea.
It's an awful idea. We already have Greenland. We can put anything in
There's
Greenland that we want to already.
there's got to be something there, or some reason. I mean, I've heard some conspiracy stuff about what's his name, that billionaire. I'm like kind of drawing a
Oh, Peter
blank right
Thiel.
now. Peter Thiel, like wanting his own little private country to test out some theories on or something.
It was me. I was the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I've heard it outside of you though too. Pac-Man was talking about it one day. But yeah, it's I've heard that. I've heard that the Peter Thiel group and the Palantir Bros are pushing Trump in one direction. And I mean, actually, that's an interesting topic. Are we at a point in our society and civilization now where technology has gotten to the degree where somebody could, like a minority could control the majority, and that's the real difference, that these guys realize this and say like, "Fuck it, we don't need democracy anymore." Because
I'd
never
say
in a
we're
time in
close.
history did we had this kind of technology, the power and the reach that it has.
The thing of it is, though, I view a lot of these guys as okay. Look at ChatGPT. How often has that fucker given you a wrong answer? All the time.
Yeah.
All right. So if they think that they can do it, I think they're jumping the gun a bit. The technology isn't quite there yet, but I do think that they think it is.
I mean,
Um,
that's just the stuff we see. That's the consumer grade stuff. I mean, it's not. Yeah, the Palantir and these other ones are. AI does things really well and some things not well, and it does crunch data really well.
it
If you
does.
feed it enough, and if they're looking at ways to suppress the vote, for instance, voter data information is invaluable, and they can do a lot with that.
Look at what they did with Cambridge Analytica data.
Yeah, that's true. That was years ago.
That's what I'm saying. The immigration thing seems coordinated. Look at the streams of how everybody wound up in one immigration bad. We didn't used to think that way.
Well, one side always did. It seems like you're going to tell me that the Republican Party hasn't been crying about immigration for years. I mean, you mentioned earlier that they weren't, but I feel like I've heard this story before.
I think they wanted it as a campaign issue. I don't think it was never really a problem.
I mean, you
Reagan
can make a
Reagan
case.
Reagan did a massive amnesty.
So that's another thing actually we should touch on quickly because I make this argument all the time to these people that freak out about the border being open and Biden let everybody in. In the Constitution, we allow for somebody to claim amnesty, claim asylum, and if they really want to stop it, they should go and try to change that.
The most dangerous thing I've heard that is out there in conservative podcast and kind of media is this idea that the Constitution does not apply or rights do not apply to those who are here illegally.
Well, it doesn't actually say that it does.
Huh?
So, I mean, it literally says within our boundaries, any
14th
person.
Amendment.
Yeah. So,
All persons within the
all
jurisdiction
persons.
of the United States. Right there, plain language.
So yeah, if they want to change it, they should change it there. I mean, these people who are like constitutionalists and all about the Constitution as being a Bible, God-given, created fucking document, whatever the hell they say, then they should change it. I mean, that's how people get in this country. Biden had too late, obviously, way too late, but he took steps in that direction where he was going to hire way more judges, put them along the border, have them process amnesty requests way faster, not let people get through until it happened. He had a take on it, and then Trump, killed it, of course, because he wanted to run on it.
Yep. And that's my thing
So
on immigration. Actually, is do do I believe people should be here illegally? No, but the idea that someone should wait 10 to 20 years in order to enter this country is absolutely asinine. The system was
well, plus like
purposefully broken.
$6 or $7 just to get a court date. I
Yeah, the
mean,
system was purposefully broken in order to create the situation that we're in. I my preference is fix the
that's an
system.
interesting take.
Fix the system. It
Yeah.
should not take, if someone wants to immigrate into the United States, it should take a year minimum or maximum. You know,
And we need immigration for this country
we
to
need
succeed.
immigration. We absolutely need immigration. And it's stupid that if someone wants to come to this country and wants to embrace our ideals, that we make them wait 6 to 7 years. That's why illegal immigration is happens. It's because the actual formal process and the correct process takes too long on purpose, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I mean,
there's no reason it should.
and to your earlier point, the reason why Trump used immigration as a weapon is let's face it, the people that really vote are the older people. And how do you scare an old person? A boomer, for instance, or older.
Many
You tell
ways.
them that,
Shall we
yeah,
count them
well,
all?
but they're easy to scare. They don't want things to change. Things were always better when they grew up, which I guess in some ways they were. I mean, Jesus Christ, buying a house back then was a lot better than it is today. But you scare them with the idea that these criminals are showing up and they're gonna like come into your town and steal your stuff and kill people and whatever else. And immigrants are terrible, and the border is open because the Democrats want people to vote for them. They're bringing all these immigrants in here to vote Democratic, and it's a scare tactic. And
Of
I
course,
mean,
because
I think
fear is a better motivator than hope or any other emotion.
I mean, Trump only does things. I mean, he's if anything else, he is pretty easy to understand. You have to run it through the filter: is can he make money off of this? He's so transactional. So I mean, every single thing he does is about making money for himself.
I would love, and that goes to my other thing, the Democrats. I would love to see it happen. I would love to see it happen just to see if it would work. All right, is for Chuck Schumer or whoever to just go meet Trump in the Oval Office. Have Mamdani do it. He seems to like Mamdani, and just tell him, look, if you fire Christy Noem and Stephen Miller, this is how much is in our campaign war chest for the midterms. We will convert this entire thing into Trump coin tomorrow
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Oh, they'd be gone.
They'd be
They'd
they'd
be
be
gone.
gone. They'd be
They'd be gone
gone.
instantly.
Just buy him off. If he is the most corrupt president in history, play the game. Every other country on earth is doing it. Just buy him off.
I mean,
You
that's
want to
exactly
save
what these tariffs.
democracy? Write a check.
I mean, that's exactly what the tariffs are all about. The tariffs are basically a way to gain leverage over somebody to get you money. He's
Yes,
proved it time and
it
time
is a
again. This time,
shakedown.
he didn't give a shit about the American economy or
He
the rest of
doesn't.
us.
He doesn't. The tariffs are all a shakedown.
Yeah.
It's a mafia style shakedown.
And ICE, you could argue, is there to keep them in power.
ICE is there because I honestly don't think Trump has any feeling one way or the other. I mean, I have watched this man at the beginning of his political career when he would throw out like 1,000, like in every rally or speech, he would throw out like 10 to 15 ideas. All right. And he would wait for applause lines. And then the next speech, he'd start focusing on what got applause or cheers in the previous speech. And he just refined the message that way. I don't think he has any. I actually don't think Donald Trump has any opinion one way or the other on illegal immigration.
Oh, he just wants, he wants people to work in Mar-a-Lago cheaply. And
Yeah, he's got illegal immigrants working, undocumented immigrants working at Mar-a-Lago.
I'll never forget that when Clinton tried to take him on. She's like, "You're a tax dodger," and he's like, "Yeah, I am. The laws that you have in place are terrible, and I take advantage of it."
Yeah, and how can you argue with that? Well, the laws are. I mean,
she just didn't know what to come back to that. She's like, "What?"
Well, we've spoken about this. Hillary Clinton was by far the absolute worst fucking candidate on earth.
Who's worse, her or Kamala, though?
You know what? I actually
was bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
I liked Kamala. I did. For a couple I think she had good policy ideas. Now, I think there's only a few people on Earth that could state what her policy ideas were.
I think I don't remember any of her policies.
Exactly. No, exactly. They did a poor messaging job. And the minute they found a message, and the minute they found a message that actually hit, they were convinced to go away from it. Which is that Republicans are. I mean, this crop of Republicans in Trump world are fucking weird. They are. They are fucking weird.
I mean, the history repeated itself. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, Clinton basically rode the coattails of Obama turning everything around from Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, hey, people saw what the Democrats can do for you and what the Republicans did for this country, and how shitty the shit was when they were in power. And she was like, oh, I'm just going to be more Obama and everything will be fine. Turned out not to be the case. And then Biden did the same thing. Biden's like, he turned everything around from Trump, one. And Kamala's like, yeah, I'll just be more Biden. And look what he did. He turned everything around from when Trump ruined it. And no way they're going to vote for this guy with all these felonies and everything else that was going on. And no, that's not what happened at all. They ran a minority woman, and it didn't. And people voted against their own interests. And Trump's rolling around at UFCs and Joe Rogan's podcast, and they leveraged, modern communication better than anybody has in history.
Well, with a healthy dose of foreign money to make sure that those podcasters stayed afloat, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, when you get some foreign money, you got to get this line.
The best this country ever runs is when Republicans when Republicans are as the opposition party, and they temper the worst excesses of the Democratic Party. Ultimately, this country runs best that way, because that is what a conservative is. It's a slow moving kind of change. It's not. It shouldn't be regressive. We're not trying. We shouldn't try to go back to days of yesteryear. But
most Republican policies, you could say, are definitely regressive.
Regressive. Of course, they are. That's what I'm saying. It worked best in the '90s style Republican, pre kind of Newt Gingrich a little bit, but just as a regressive style, like tempering the worst excesses of the Democratic Party.
Well, like, what's the worst success of the Democratic Party though? Like giving people rights that I don't even know. Like what is a bad excess of the Democratic Party? Stronger
What's the
unions or something? Yeah.
excesses of the Democratic Party? Um, I think healthcare can be fixed. Could have been. We've talked about this. Healthcare could have been fixed without universal healthcare. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the only way to fix it now is some type of public option, or you know, the ability Medicare if you want to buy into it. The government, there is no competition in the healthcare market currently. In order to start competition, there has to be government has to provide it, because the barriers to entry are way too high for there to be a competitive marketplace just because other companies get into it. That's not going to happen.
Hmm.
Private equity is a big problem. That's not a Democratic problem, but Democratic excesses to me run along the lines of really stupid culture war shit and regulations, nonsensical, unenforceable regulations.
Okay. I mean, the culture war stuff. It's tough because like can you point to any policy that they've passed that would
Nothing that they've passed. It is the rhetoric or their inability to counter the rhetoric. I think cancel culture is certainly a Democratic Party excess. Um, Using the
people?
term Latinx,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that
come on.
that type of
That's
stupid
that's
shit.
not a policy. That's not like passing
It's not a
laws.
policy, but it is messaging, and it is how
And like
regulations and
if
things
if
are
a bunch of
functioning.
companies like cancel call that wasn't actually a democratically driven thing. That was basically just companies deciding they didn't want people that were Nazis talking about their brand.
Okay, no, there it went further than that. You know it. It did.
Like how
I'm
so?
sorry, free speech. I mean, Dave Chappelle. Who all got canceled?
Yeah, but you can't blame that on the Democratic Party. That's a bunch of whatever people that
Members of
are
the Democratic Party doing it?
like who from the Democratic Party canceled David Chappelle?
No, I said members of the Democratic, like the voters, the
So
rank and
people,
file of the Democratic Party.
I mean, okay, if you want to flip that, I mean, there's plenty of extremely
No,
racist
of
Republicans.
course, of course.
I mean, if you really want to get down to it, I mean, this is like the biggest argument that kills me. If you look at the states and you say with the blue states versus the blue states make all the money.
Hmm.
The red states spend all the money. So if you want to say which policies work better, and when it comes to regulation too, I mean, what California is the most over-regulated state we've ever had in the history of mankind, and they
Don't
are
get me
what the
wrong. I
fourth
think,
largest economy in the world.
hey, that's why I'm saying Republicans work best as an opposition party. They suck at governing. They do.
Well, it doesn't really help the Republicans if they're terrible.
Well, I mean, it's just facts. But there, corruption is the biggest problem that we face. Period.
I mean, foreign money. You touched on that earlier. That is just unbelievable that it's still allowed. I
Right,
mean,
but it is just
APAC is ridiculous. I mean, that's
yes,
thoroughly throughout
yes,
the
it is.
Democratic
Yes, it
Party.
is. Israel has
Probably even more,
bought.
even maybe even more so than the Republican Party, to be honest.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Israel really does kind of run this country. At
Yeah,
least the
clearly.
politicians.
I mean, it's almost as if they had like something on these leaders, like they had something.
some files, maybe
some files or something. They had some kind of sting operation they did years ago that
something.
gave them leverage to the
I mean,
point where
there's
they
a
were just getting
reason
everything signed
Grinder
off on.
shuts. I mean, there's a reason Grinder shuts down whenever Republicans gather in one location.
But it doesn't explain Biden giving him all this money though. So that's the other thing that's frustrating.
Uh,
There's no way
I
he's tied
think
into any of that. Maybe his
if you're
son.
a
Maybe it's through his
politician
son or
for as long
something.
as if you're a politician for as long as those guys are, there's dirt somewhere.
Yeah.
Not sure where it's at, but there's dirt somewhere.
I think that's why they hated Obama so much, because he was so squeaky clean. They couldn't get him on anything.
That's true. Other than that tan suit, I mean, Jesus,
He was such an asshole for wearing that.
the tan suit. How can you have a president wear a tan suit?
It
I mean,
was
what the
it's
fuck,
an
man?
abomination.
I mean, that's impeachable right there.
Absolutely. 25th Amendment. Let's do it.
Ah, should have been. Should have. But no,
I
I
mean,
really think
here's
if you go
Elliot.
if there is one party rule in any area for any amount of time, corruption will blossom. Look at Texas. Texas is corrupt as fuck, but so is Chicago, and so
Oh,
is
is it?
Detroit.
Actually, I want to ask you about that because you're a Chicago person, right? You spent a lot of time there. No.
Yes, yes, and no.
So about Black Lives Matter, I remember hearing this story way. I mean, like probably a good 8, 9 years ago, way before anything happened with George Floyd.
Hmm.
Um, about what Black Lives Matter actually was originally about. Nobody else seems to remember this. I'm the only person. But apparently, how I had understood it is that in the city of Chicago, the south side of Chicago is where there was a lot of gang violence, a lot of shootings at one point. And what would happen to these individuals would end up, in an emergency room at a hospital on the south side of Chicago. They didn't have medical insurance, and the hospital was forced to, obviously they had to take care of them and treat them.
Hmm.
And it was costing the hospital money. It was a for-profit organization, and they closed the hospital down and moved it north. So far north that if you got shot in parts of south side of Chicago, the ambulance could not make it in time to save you to the hospital. And that became a protest where it was Black Lives Matter because they were essentially mostly majority black. Um, and that's how I understood it, that they were complaining about them moving this hospital out of this area. And then it got kind
That's
of
plausible. I mean,
bastardized into,
that is absolutely a thing in Chicago. Yeah.
I think that's how it originated. Nobody else seems to remember this story though. But anyways, a segue
No,
there.
there's a few organizations in Chicago. There, my block, my hood, my city is one. So that there's a few. There's a few that are like that. I don't know specifically if Black Lives Matter started that way.
Oh,
Um,
actually, this is another good topic that I just from the bar. This other
bar
individual,
topics.
yeah, this other individual. I got an argument with this other guy too about how the Republican Party is the party of law and order.
I mean, that's complete bullshit. But sure.
Yeah, so I asked him like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, everybody knows that. Everybody, ask anybody. Anybody knows that the Republican Party is the party of law and order." I mean, it's literally just Trump, parroting a Trump talking point. But I mean, is that the general consensus? Because I mean, I kind of see that if they do have the Republican Party has some pretty strong branding when it comes to patriotism. Um, yeah, maybe even law and order. I mean, it's not the truth, especially not now. But I mean, as a brand, do they own that? They kind of own the American flag.
I would say yes, but I think the origins of Law and Order are not. I mean, the modern underpinnings of Law and Order, like quote Law and Order, are pretty. Um, the origins of that are not what the people who are saying it think they are, except for some people who damn well know what it means and fully support that. So the idea of law and order, quote, I'm the law and order, it and why it's associated with Republicans kind of goes back to um, how the Republican Party is what it is today. For the most part, prior to Nixon, so Nixon got trounced by JFK, and the Republican Party started to undergo a rebrand where they developed. There was a lot of evangelical Christians that would have been Southern Democrats that were very upset that a Catholic got elected as the nominee for the Democratic Party.
Oh,
And yes, and Nixon had the idea that so JFK went in with the Great Society, started in with the Great Society program, civil rights, and further disaffected the Southern evangelicals, who one were not fuck all happy that a Catholic was president, and two, being from the South, were very upset that he was even talking about civil rights, equal rights, those types of issues. So Nixon's and the Republican Party started courting prominent Southern Democrats, Blue Dog Democrats. And that was the Southern strategy that the Republicans used in order to win the presidency after JFK, after he was assassinated, okay. Vietnam War, where the patriotism, so specifically Republicans being the idea that Republicans are the party of patriotism and law and order, come from that underpinning. One, it was opposition of civil rights and, essentially that, because the demonstrations, the marches, that was all against law and order. And the other underpinning with patriotism and law and order also relates to Vietnam War protests. And, the protests against the war and against, burning the American flag were primarily Democrats. Even though it was a Democratic president that started the Vietnam War, the Republican Party eventually became known as, my country, love it or leave it kind of thing. And so that's the underpinnings of all that. And the Southern strategy, specifically for the Republicans, was to turn Southern Democrats that were disaffected about civil rights, the civil rights movement, abolishing Jim Crow, abolishing sunset laws. The Republican Party courted those people and got them to switch parties. So that's why it always cracks me up when Republicans are just like, we were the party of Lincoln. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
That's where all that comes into play. And then from there, so the Republican idea that they're the party of law and order very much stems from racism. It was a strategy to get Southern Democrats, Southern evangelical Democrats, to switch to the Republican Party. And it's kind of you can see it in what the Republican Party does from there on out. Police brutality, is it against black person? Okay, well, no, back the blue. So they've just continued that on through to present day.
Yeah, that's for somebody to say that nowadays is, obviously completely laughable, but with everything that's going on, Trump just ignoring laws and creating disorder.
Yeah, and honestly, the biggest blunder they've done is, and I do predict that when you look at conservative podcasting and conservative social media, you're going to see this, is that the ones who are not receiving foreign money are going to come out against the administration on this one. That man, Pretty, was innocently exercising his Second Amendment rights. Now we can discuss. I don't think I've ever heard a single Democrat call for banning handguns. Assault rifle ban, sure. Um, but handgun. This guy was armed. He had a concealed carry permit. He was exercising his Second Amendment rights in a way that literally every political party or politician in this country would say was in the correct. That nobody was. There's nothing he was doing that anybody was trying to pass any gun law to stop or anything else. So the fact that they disarmed him and shot him in the back has a lot of conservatives upset, particularly since it's the Second Amendment. I mean, the NRA came out and made a statement.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, NRA came out with a big statement. Yeah.
So I really do think this is going to be a situation where you're going to see pretty quickly which conservative quote media is on the take. Because I think if they're bought and paid in order to essentially undermine or subvert this country, they're going to go along with this line of, well, nobody should take a gun to a protest. Bullshit.
Well, it's legal there. There's some
It's
states where it's
legal.
not legal. It is legal there.
It's if you have a concealed carry and you go, you can do whatever you can take it with you. I mean, that's the whole point. And the
Yeah, it's
idea
not
that
just
their
that.
argument is he was armed. He was
You
armed,
know,
and that's
what's her name came out and she would start. I mean, I don't know if you saw the interview, but she came out and she made that statement about how he was brandishing it, pulled it out, and like it's a bunch of yeah.
that's a bunch
In
of
this day and age, somebody just said this recently today. In this day and age, to blatantly lie like that when there's so much footage in every angle possible, all over the place, that everybody's looking at it, like, don't believe your lying eyes. Believe me when I'm telling
I know
you.
Orwellian. It is Orwellian. It's
It really
1984.
is.
It is
Yeah.
textbook 1984. And the idea that there's some conservative media that is going along with that line. I'm sorry. Let's look at your bank accounts because I'm pretty sure they're funded from somewhere not in the United States.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I mean, we said this earlier. The idea that this is a planned situation with the immigration and the enforcement. Um, isn't this exactly what they wanted? They wanted to escalate to the point where guns were
Yes.
brought out, and so it just seems like
Yes.
more along the lines
Absolutely.
of
It is. It is 100%. I think
Heritage
there's a concert.
Foundation
We are an open.
2025.
We are an open society. This has been our. It's. We are an open society. It is extraordinarily difficult for an open society to inoculate itself against the kind of attack that we're under. That we're under.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen the references to Rittenhouse bringing that AR-15 and shooting
Mhm.
3 people. So
Yeah, I've seen it, and I think they're trying to stem this a little bit by canning Bovino. Um, but it going back to the National Guard, I think Walls activating the National Guard is just it's not a good move.
you
Trump
think
can
it's gonna just
nationalize them.
escalate it too much, or oh
No,
yeah,
Trump can nationalize them, right? In
could he
which
though?
case
I heard that today, but I wasn't sure if he actually could do that again. I mean,
he,
tried it
he,
once, didn't really work.
he can do that. He can nationalize the Minnesota National Guard that they've called up. Two, the National Guard gets into a conflict with ICE, or ICE provokes a conflict with the National Guard.
Which will
In which
happen.
case, in which case now you have prima facie and probably a judge can't overturn the idea that this is an insurrection
I mean,
because
it's
you have
literally
a
the
state
definition of
National
civil war,
Guard.
isn't it? Isn't
What's
it when the
that?
state? Isn't that literally the definition of a civil war? Is when the states
Yes.
um, bring up arms against the federal government?
Yeah. That is literal definition of an insurrection. So
Yep.
no judge could overturn that. So now you've got military in a U.S. city and a suspension of
But he
martial
does
law.
need. I think he does need congressional support though in order to do it legally. Not that he gives a shit, but
We're well we're well through the looking glass on that one.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of these Republicans are coming out against it, but who knows what it really means? It comes down to brass tacks and then actually agreeing with something or signing off on something. It's a whole other story.
Here's the thing. I think, and I have often said that I've said this many times when I hear some. And keep in mind, I'm not going to name any names, but I mean, I know this for a fact. These people are not dumb. Some of them are. Some of them are pants on head stupid. And I think you can probably just look at Fox News and see which ones are, because they're not queasy about this in the least. A lot of them are very uneasy about this because they are smart people. They are well aware of where this leads. And it's not good for them. Because if you give a president a, quote, paramilitary force that's free from any prosecution or consequences, it's only a matter of time before they do something that he doesn't like and he turns it on them. And the smarter ones know that.
They have to be getting nervous at the amount of power he has. They have to be.
They have to be. Because the minute they have to push back somehow. And that's what I'm saying. The smarter Republican ones know that. Because if they let it go too far, then they're irrelevant. And that's how the founders actually created it. They always believed that what's that?
Yeah, the president's supposed to be a weak executive. Yeah, we're talking about
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about more fundamental. The founding fathers and people who wrote the Constitution understood that it's full of a lot of lofty ideas and very high-minded rhetoric of, freedom and equality and everything else. But how it's structured, and this is in the Federalist Papers and some of the private papers that they have recovered from when Madison and Jefferson and they were writing it, they recognize that humans are actually pretty awful. And they structured it so that there were competing self-interests. That's why we have the separation of powers. It's not because, this sounds neat. It's because the founding fathers believed that the greedy, selfish assholes that get elected to be congressmen would never give up power to a president. And likewise, a president, greedy, selfish little asshole that he is, or she is, even though we've never had one, would never willingly cede up executive authority to Congress. So it was always dependent. So our system of government was structured in a way to make use of people's petty, selfish, greedy, nasty little natures and harness that to keep us free. They never imagined that, an entire group of narcissistic, powerful people would willingly sit in a cuck chair for a president.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what's happening right now. It's getting worse.
It's the founding fathers' nightmare scenario.
Do you think it's already gotten to the point now where it's like just too much? Like he's already run away with it? He being Trump?
I think we're going to see here at some point they actually stood up to him and passed a law. The Senate did. It didn't pass the House, but the Senate did pass a law, and he immediately threatened them with primaries and other courses of action. the Indiana state legislature didn't go along with his redistricting plan, and he punished us. Colorado, Polis, really should not commute the sentence of Tina Peters. That would be a huge mistake.
Heard that too. Yeah.
I think there's some pushback, and there was very light consequences for the senators that voted against it or voted it down. So eventually they are going to pass a law that he absolutely does not agree with. And then I think we'll see what will happen. Does he go that far?
I mean, who knows what he's doing on the side too? How much he's threatening these people? But yeah.
But see, I don't think he's I'm with you. I don't think he's after power for power's sake. I think he just wants money.
Well, there's a lot of money in this seat.
And someone to kiss his ass.
I mean, he's made more money in 3 months than probably anybody in the history of mankind.
That's what I'm saying. The easiest way to get rid of him is to buy him off.
Yeah,
I know it's gross. It's gross and sickening. The concept of it is absolutely awful. But if they did and it worked,
if his health deteriorates to the point where he can no longer be in office, that is going to be really interesting too. Like, what happens then? I mean,
then we're going to see an attempted coup of the United States, because J.D. Vance is not.
Yeah,
they
Vance
have done. They have
that
done.
cult of personality does not like him at all.
They have done everything possible to make him likable.
It's not working.
And still, only 2 out of 10 Trump supporters like his ass. And that's with like a full court press on Fox News, podcasts, everything. I mean, they attempted to set him up with Erica Kirk, for crying out loud, and float that idea to see if it would work, and it didn't. So, like, the dude is unlikable, and he is never going to be any more liked than he is now.
Yeah, I don't know what happens next, that's for sure. But if we can even get there, it's like dog years around here, really.
I think the only way out is through. Nobody's coming to save us.
I mean, I know it's already pretty late, but the whole peace foundation he set up, where those countries paid him $1 billion. Where does that money go, by the way? Who are they paying it to?
It's all his.
His personally? Unbelievable.
That can.
There's like 12 countries that signed up too.
I know, a few $1 billion in unaccountable money can buy a hell of a lot of Blackwater mercenaries.
Blackwater. I haven't heard that in a while.
They rebranded. I forget what Prince calls them now.
Yeah, they call us. Yeah, now he's the U.S. government basically. He's the one behind the whole Venezuela attack. Heard that too.
Possibly.
He's one of Trump's advisors.
Yeah, I mean, I believe his mom was in the first administration.
Oh, really?
The Dark Prince. And that's what gets me, is like
I did read his book, which was not very entertaining.
He's not a very entertaining guy. I've seen his interviews.
It was like,
he's got the personality of a dish towel.
Like 4 chapters devoted to him, how he cheated on his wife when she was sick with cancer.
Yeah, like I said, he's got the personality of a dish towel. And that's again, these people are just just mind-numbingly fucking weird. All of them. Kristi Noem. She shot her fucking dog. And this wasn't like an old Yeller moment or anything else. The dog wasn't sick. The dog was just a puppy.
He was barking too much.
Yeah, what kind of Spartan fucking shit is that? She's not becoming a hoplite. She's not a Greek soldier. There's no reason to do that. How does anybody think that's a good person to put on air?
She's always on air.
I
I think
know.
she's gonna be the first person they sacrifice, though. I think that could be the first blood that is spilled, sacrificial blood.
But probably because it's not just that she's bad at her job. She's also mind-numbingly fucking stupid. She's not a smart
She's
person.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can argue about how intelligent all these people are, but
Stephen
they're
Miller's
all
smart. I mean, there's smart ones. I mean, Stephen Miller's smart. Bannon is a fuck all genius. Um, Besant, obviously, and therein lies the problem because these people are smart enough to know better, so they're doing this shit on purpose.
no, absolutely. I mean, they saw an opportunity
Rubio,
and
I
they're and
mean,
they're taking it.
yeah, like
Rubio is
Rubio.
interesting.
Rubio's a smart guy. I mean, and he knows what he's doing. That's why he looks like his soul is leaving his body in every live freaking video that he
Every
has because
single
he
one,
knows
every single one he's in,
he know. I
he
mean,
just looks
and
he looks like he's sick to himself listening
yeah,
to
and
Trump talk.
he's Catholic, so he's facing eternal damnation.
Yeah, we need to get some of this foreign money.
Some of the foreign money,
Yeah, you need to get some of this foreign money.
I'm down for it.
Where
I'll
do you
take it.
sign up?
I'm mercenary like that. What do you want me to tell you? I love Putin. Putin's awesome. Russia today is the best.
Maybe we should lean into Europe. I mean, Europe's probably dying for Trump to be out of office. Say, hey, look, you have a podcast that's all about getting Trump out of office. Give us some funding.
Again, just pay him off. I really do think that is the best solution. That is the most expedient thing to do.
But why would he leave when he's making this much money? Just
No, you don't have to get him to leave. We just need to write out the 3 years.
do you think
I'm
just by
saying,
getting rid of 3 or 4 people is going to make that much of a difference?
oh, I mean, once you prove the concept, you just lean into it. Hell, Bloomberg could pay him off for a few
Cut off
pieces
the
of
head of the
legislation.
Hydra. 3 more take its place.
Come on now. Bloomberg could pay him off for a couple pieces of legislation or an executive order or two. Steyer could do the same thing.
Bloomberg's psyched. He gets to write off his private jet now. Are you kidding me? He's not doing anything.
No, but I'm just saying, Bloomberg could pay him off for a couple pieces of legislation or an executive order. Steyer could do the same thing. I mean, if you know that's the thing. If you know someone is corrupt, it then becomes easy. It's when you don't know that they are that's the problem. Sort of like a spy. Once you know someone is a spy, you can use that. It's when
Oh,
you don't
absolutely.
know that they are. It's when you don't know that they are that the problems arise. So everybody knows he's corrupt, and the worst countries in the world have figured out how to manipulate him. Do the same. Hell, have a special Democratic Party event and bring him in as Person of the Year. Give him an award.
People Magazine or Time Magazine, get him on the front cover, man.
And then while you're doing that, just say, hey, you know what? This whole ICE thing, you know, I really, you're such a smart person. Realistically, the people you're deporting, they love you. I don't know why you're deporting them. They love you.
They did. They voted for him.
Of course they did.
There's definitely a bit of that. It's like, this is what you voted for.
There's a certain amount of I mean, I honestly, I mean, for like a week I had a bit of schadenfreude on it of like, yeah, I mean, that's sort of how it goes, and then just kind of got sick. It's really disgusting. It's hard to feel a certain way when people are dying in ICE facilities and getting murdered in ICE facilities. There's a lot of grape in ICE facilities. Um, it's and these are people that are either here legally or U.S. citizens that are in detained status,
Yeah, you
and
can't even. It's hard to talk about because it's just so ridiculous. There's no defending it. It's absolutely.
so it just feels disgusting and awful to sit there and be like, you voted for that. Nobody voted for that. I mean, even
Hey,
if they voted,
if Kamala got in office, it'd be way worse. Be way worse.
again, no, it wouldn't.
Who knows what she would have done?
She wouldn't. That's the thing. She wouldn't have
Loose
done
cannon.
anything. No, she wouldn't have been able to do anything. Republicans would have held Congress, at least one branch of Congress, one house of Congress. So she wouldn't have been able to do anything. It would have been Obama presidency part two.
Well, I'm still looking forward to my Venezuelan gas check to show up any day now.
I've got it marked on my calendar. 2 weeks.
Nice. I mean, all our tax money went to taking that guy out and getting that oil. So we all should be getting something out of this.
I expect to get like a gold coin from Qatar.
Yeah.
With gold pricing, it'd be half an ounce. That would be my $2,000 in oil money. Or wait, are we getting the $2,000 in tariff money? I forget which fund our bribe is.
Oh yeah,
coming
the tariff
from.
money. That was the other thing. Yeah, we're all gonna get tariffs.
I think it's tariff money. Tariff money is where we're getting the bribe from.
Yeah, yeah.
The oil money isn't for us.
I think he tried to actually write those $2,000 healthcare checks, and then they are like, "We don't have the money." It's like, "Oh, okay, forget it."
Which is just the dumbest idea for a healthcare plan you could.
Yeah, it's not a plan, obviously.
Here's $2,000. Oh, look, my healthcare premium just went up $2,000.
Go
Funny
use
how
this for
that
your
works.
healthcare.
Just so happens my health insurance went up $2,000 in cost. I have no idea why.
Yeah. Will the Republicans ever have a healthcare plan? Even outside of Trump.
Privatize everything.
It's already privatized.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a
Die
plan.
quickly. Does die quickly count as a healthcare plan?
That was a plan. They put that forward. Yeah.
Work and hope you don't get sick.
Everybody dies eventually. Just don't get sick.
Exactly. See, that's so. I mean, why do you need healthcare?
Yep. We need another $500 billion for the government, though, for sure.
What is the? Yeah, God wills it.
That's another thing I said. This individual, like, what do you think about him raising the military budget to 1.5 trillion? He's like, I thought it already was that.
I'm thinking that prominent members of his family have started defense companies. That's what I think of the 1.5 trillion defense plan.
Yeah, what's the Trump Jr. company started? Vulcan something?
Yeah.
He got like 620 million out of it.
Vulcan Earth or something like that.
Yeah. That's in the tracker.
But yeah, that's. I mean, here's the thing. China, when you look at the threat profile for the United States around the world, the only feasible adversary we have is Russia, and they are ramshackle, just not even a serious country at this point. I mean, I think we have sufficient winter that if we had to go, I mean, the Russian winter wouldn't stop us at this point. China is an odd one. because to me, China is not an expansionist country.
Have you heard of have you ever listened to Peter Zellham at all?
No.
Really? He's like this. I can't remember the term that he coins about himself. He's like a geopolitical demographic analyst,
Hmm.
and his big take is that China's going to fail in the next 10 years
They're,
because the
sa- they're,
demographics are
they're,
so
they're,
bad.
they have a demographic crisis, just like Europe.
Yeah, and the idea of them going to war with anybody is so ridiculous because they import 75% of their food. And so all we'd have to do is an embargo them, and the sanction would hit them so hard that they would just like lose millions of people. And
They're
just
just not an expansionist culture. The only
yeah.
reason Taiwan is an issue is because it is traditionally Chinese.
And that's the only chance that they have of doing anything is it's so close to them. Like they don't have the ability and the logistics to take over or to actually invade anyone other
Correct.
than maybe
So the only
Taiwan.
threat the United States has is ourselves.
Yeah. And the idea that Russians can do anything right now is absolutely laughable. So
But on that note, I think we can wrap it up tonight. Um, I
good
appreciate
time
it.
as always. Till next time.
Till next time, I'll see you.
Take it easy.
And that was Gabe. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching this after the live stream, please drop a like or a comment. We'd really appreciate that. And stay safe out there.